Real talk, raw truth, raging hearts. Welcome to From the Minds of Raging Brats. Like, share, and subscribe. Hi, welcome to From the Minds of Raging Brats. I'm Heather.
And I'm Ashley.
So this week we're going to be diving into a topic that's equal parts heartbreaking and hopeful. Disorganized attachment, also known as fearful avoidant attachment. We'll talk about what it is, how it develops, how it shows up in our relationships, and most importantly, how we can recognize and healing those patterns. And because real life doesn't happen in a vacuum, we're also going to talk about what it feels like when grief and trauma collide with those attachment wounds. Like when loss hits out of nowhere and completely shakes your sense of safety and self. So how was your week?
It's better than last week. It's simply because I don't feel as lost or like I'm kind of under the tides of the emotion. But I'm still getting through. I'm still trying to process certain things, especially as more and more information comes in. But other than that, it's been good. Like, I got a raise at work.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I moved past some things. I decided to put other things on a shelf and re-examine them later when, for lack of a better term, I have more spoons. And I'm not trying to beat myself up about that.
That's good. It's actually really healthy. My week's been rough. I had that 3-day EEG and I literally went nuts the whole time. I honestly don't know how I made it through. Realistically, like my mental health started to fray so bad at the end. I was not sure.
Major sensory issues, and to have that going on, I could see why that would drive you nuts.
Yeah, I literally contemplated carving my skin off at times. I was not okay.
Yeah.
And it sounds so weird because it's like it's just an EEG, lady, but it's I couldn't shower, and until then I've never had an issue. Like I can go camping for a week, 2 weeks and only get like hoe baths the whole time and be just fine. No. And they told me I couldn't wash my face because they had like stuff attached to my face. And
yeah, that's a big thing for you.
And with menopause, like, and having your whole head insulated, like it was like having a furnace all the time. And so I'm just constantly sweating and uncomfortable, and everything's itching and everything is uncomfortable, and I can't shower and I can't do anything about it. And of course, because I'm in my 40s, and along with all of this beautiful stuff comes these raging hormones, that make it worse than a teenager going through puberty. So I'm just like, on top of, I cannot have physical release either because I'm not doing that if I can't shower and I'm sweaty and nasty and uncomfortable. I'm just not. So I'm just like, I'm going to kill everybody. It's just going to happen. That's what's going to happen. And I told my therapist, I was like, I'm so frustrated because I don't even like chocolate, but when I'm on my period, I will often crave it. And I understand because the pain gets so intense, like you're craving that feel good hormone. But like, I was like craving non-stop chocolate. And she's like, that actually makes a lot of sense. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you needed the dopamine hit because you were so uncomfortable. She's like, probably that chocolate is what kept you from going over the edge. Like, yeah. Because it was releasing dopamine into a system that really needed it. And I was like, oh, okay, well, when you put it like that, that actually makes sense. That was probably a healthy coping mechanism in the middle of a meltdown.
Probably one of your healthiest.
So that was that. When I got home and showered and everything yesterday, all of a sudden I felt like a brand new person, which was really weird because I also had a mental shift during that time. So I actually like am a brand new person, but that's a conversation for another day. Um, it's taken me to some in-depth levels, which is probably how I was able to recognize as I was going over reviewing stuff for talking today, that like I was telling you earlier, I recognized that in the beginning of every single relationship that I have, I still initially hit that disorganized, fearful, avoidant attachment style wall. And then I have to go, this is not your past, Heather. And I do all this in my head. It's not like I have this big drawn out process, but I recognized when I was reading through the stuff for today that I was like, oh, that is my actual thought process, not my relationship process, but my thought process every time I start a relationship. And I have to work to change that every time. I have to remind myself this is actually how things are going to be.
Could you give our audience like some examples of like that?
Yeah, actually, as we go through, I've got some stuff and I'm going to point out where as I read through this stuff, because I kind of drew it together in a timeline so it's a little bit more organized to give examples to the people. But as I go through them, I'm going to point out where in my own personal life they still apply.
Okay.
Because I want people to see, like, remember, we just talked about this. It's only this year that I've moved into secure attachment. So this is still brand new for me. And the fact that disorganized / fearful avoidant attachment style is what I had most of my life. The fact that it's only the thought process at the beginning of my relationship is huge. But it's still good to note that it still plays a part in my everyday life and relationships. So people don't think that this is something that you're just going to flip a switch and it's going to be a-okay. That's not how that works.
Don't we wish?
So what does disorganized attachment or fearful avoidant attachment even mean? It's one of 4 main attachment styles, along with secure, anxious, and avoidant. But this one is the most complex and honestly the most painful to live with. Kind of like BPD. Sometimes it's called fearful avoidant attachment, like I said. Disorganized attachment develops when your earliest experiences of love were also experiences of fear. The same person who was supposed to protect you might also have hurt you, ignored you, or scared you. Imagine a little kid reaching for that caregiver and freezing, wanting the hug, but also terrified of it. That's the core of this style. For a lot of people, it's basically, the brain is basically learning love equals danger, or at least at the bare minimum, it equals unpredictability. Yes. So even in adulthood, that person craves closeness, but feels unsafe when they actually get it.
Yeah.
This honestly, as we get through, and you can point out where you feel, but also honestly, a lot of this still feels very much where you're at with your romantic relationships. Because when we get into the description, you're going to be like, I do that. I do that too. Shit. It's like your nervous system goes, wait, this feels too good. Something bad must be coming. It's that other shoe, waiting for that other shoe to drop.
Oh, yeah.
And suddenly you might start pushing people away, testing them, or even sabotaging the very connection you wanted. Let's talk about how people end up with this attachment style, because it's not random. It's learned through experience. It often forms... What?
As is most attachment styles at the base level.
Yes. All attachment styles are learned in early childhood based on your growth. But I think that they're putting emphasis on this in the way that it's coming across, or I am putting emphasis on this, because like I pointed out or a little bit earlier, like BPD, it is one of the most painful attachment styles, and there's a very good reason for that, rooted in very early childhood. It's like, me, not quite 2 years old, and my own father choosing intimacy with my baby body. Like,
Yeah,
forever. Forever, my constant thought was like, why? Why wasn't I good enough to just be loved for the child that I was? Like, it was so hard for me. And so when people would show me love, I was constantly waiting, and usually it came. Like, marriages with domestic violence, and previous relationships with addiction and
that's the thing.
manipulation and control.
Yeah. I don't think like a lot of people understand, like, we're not trying to say you had one bad thing happen to you or you had one like bad relationship when you were super young that caused this. It is usually a repeated thing that has happened with many different people that you were supposed to be able to trust that creates these unhealthy attachment styles, for lack
and
of
mine
better
definitely
word.
did. But I'm just pointing out that for me, it started very early. Well, actually, probably before that with witnessing the domestic violence between my parents. But for me personally, where they talk about love equals danger, it started just before 2 years old with that first encounter.
Yeah.
So, like, and because people with disorganized or fearful avoidant usually have some kind of severe trauma, not always.
No.
That is why it's pointed out that it could be uncertainty. But for most people, it is love equals danger, because in childhood, that is what it equaled. The person that was supposed to be your caregiver, or the people that were supposed to be your caregivers, were the danger to you, not external forces. So it left you untrusting of anything exterior.
Yeah.
Including help.
And for our audience members that maybe are like, I think I am disorganized, but I didn't have like that trauma, maybe the same trauma Heather did or whatever, like, I would really like you to understand, as a young child, I don't necessarily have to touch you for it to be a trauma. It could be constant yelling and screaming, constant moving, feeling an uncertainty, or there are families where their parents literally do not like the children, and children feel these things, and that is a trauma. These can all be things that lead up to this attachment style.
Well, and it could have happened as early as pregnancy. Your mom could be in a domestic violence relationship with your dad and have to flee and end up running from place to place to place. And you're not only through her pregnancy, but born into chaos, and not by choice, not by her choice. And even if it's very soon stable thereafter, you're still imprinted with those early childhood memories. So, it often forms in homes where love and chaos coexist. Maybe your caregiver was loving one moment and explosive the next. Maybe they were affectionate but also abusive. Maybe they weren't emotionally available. Sometimes present, sometimes gone, leaving you constantly guessing which you'd get. Some of this forms, and let's be clear about this, some of this is formed, and I'm going to make this example. People are going to be sensitive about this, but it's real. Some people are busy working 2 and 3 jobs to provide for their children, and they're never home. And then when they are, they're brief moments. They're few and far between where they have time for those children to really dedicate true dedicated time. And that can cause disorganized as well.
See, I think that's part of it, but I also think it's if you are one of those people that have to work all the time to provide, which there is nothing wrong with. Like, Heather and I both understand you do what you gotta do. But when you are home with your kid, you're snapping at them, you're short-tempered, you're crying, your emotions are all over the place, and you're trying to get your child, or not even trying, your child feels like they should be regulating your emotions and helping you through your emotions and forgetting their own at a very young age, that creates a numerous problems.
Yeah, like Ashley was just saying, maybe they aren't cruel. Maybe they're battling their own demons. Maybe they've got trauma, addiction, mental illness, emotional exhaustion. I mean, that's a thing. So the child learns to adapt by reading every tiny cue, staying hyper alert, and predicting danger before it happens. And sometimes the danger isn't always to them. Like maybe the parent put a pot of soup on the stove and went to sit down for a minute to take their shoes off. And because they were exhausted, they fell asleep. Like that kid saw the pot go on, sees their parent are asleep, and all of a sudden they realize they are either responsible for the pot or responsible for waking their exhausted parent up and disappointing them with the few bit of sleep that they get. Like, that's not a child's responsibility, but it's often a child's reality. It's survival mode. When the person you depend on is also the source of fear, your brain gets stuck in a loop. I want love, but it's not safe. So as adults, we find ourselves reliving that push-pull dynamic, wanting intimacy and then panicking and withdrawing the moment things feel too close. This is where I said this starts to remind me of you in romantic relationships.
Like, I know. You're paying attention to me? Oh, it might be time to run the fuck away.
Yeah. If you're wondering whether this might be you, here are some common signs for disorganized attachment and recognizing it. You crave connection but panic once things get serious. You replay relationships in your head long after they've ended. You feel safe being needed but uncomfortable being truly seen. Hi, have we met? You oscillate between clingy and avoiding, pulling someone close and then suddenly feeling trapped.
Oh, well, there's me.
Hi, have we met? my whole dilemma with I really need to talk to my person at least every day, but then is that too much? Bitch, what? That's common decency. You fear abandonment and engulfment at the same time. This is the thing that I struggled with the longest, the hardest. The thing that catches me the most still to this day. Like, that is where my spiral will always start, and I have to be like, whoa, bitch. We aren't in a rodeo. We're not riding 8 seconds. Get off the bull.
Yeah.
You sometimes go emotionally numb during conflict, like your body shuts down. This is what reminds me most of you.
Yeah.
You tend to turn off when things get too hard for you.
Yeah, like I do definitely do that. Like the second like there's just anything too much sadness, too much anger, whatever, like it's a really unfortunate part of my soul I've built, but yeah, I will go right in there and just be like, and now it doesn't affect me now. Y'all can squabble, y'all can do what you're gonna do, but I'm gonna stay here alone. Even if there's 100 other people around me, I'm going to be in here alone until I can. Or I feel safe enough to, because that's what it really boils down to. Until I feel safe enough, I'm going to shut the fuck down, because again, childhood teaches you a lot, and that's what I was taught was safest. And I'm still working through it, I'm still progressing, but yeah, it's still definitely a thing.
Well, and I think this next part I relate to so much, both before and after, because I still am this way. I just learned that that's who I am. But I think that's why it freaks you out so much, and why you thought most people were bullshit, and they probably were when you met before. Because Maybe you're the person who says, I want love, but I don't trust it. So you fall fast. But once you get close, anxiety floods your system. You start looking for red flags, not because you're paranoid, but because your nervous system cannot believe that safety will last. The people that are like, oh, I fell in love, and then they fell in love again in 3 months, and then they fell in love again in 2 months, and then they fell in
Yeah.
love again in 4 months. And how many soulmates have you met this year?
Yeah. Like I have definitely literally said that to somebody. I was like, you cannot be ready to marry 6 people in 1 year and they're all your soulmate. Like, nah, like please stop talking.
Yeah, I don't have that. I do have people like, okay, so with my last ex, like even the cards were, and our astrology, when I put our astrology in the thing, we're like, oh, hey, you're your soulmates and from previous lifetimes, and that's a lot. And then he
like,
bailed. So
baby.
and then the previous person that I, gave my heart to, the previous ex, like that one, I truly, like, instantly, the connection when I met him, I felt safe with him, which I had never felt safe with a man before, any male. Yeah. And so the fact that I felt safe with him was what drew me in and why ultimately he won my heart over. But then my brain was like, bitch, you don't even know him. Like, you're head over heels in love with him and you don't actually logically know this man. And I'm not telling your heart it's wrong for loving him, but I am telling you to get a grip on reality that you can't have a relationship with somebody you don't know.
Yeah. I know, like, but it makes so much sense to me for you to be like that because you are such a loving person. You want to cook for people, you want to provide a home for people, you want your part, like, it would make sense that your heart would be like, we have so many similarities. They're so kind, they're so like whatever, like, whereas me, my brain goes, we have so many similarities. Did they forge their birth certificate? Did they pick it? Like, this has to be a trap.
No, I look at people's energy. That's where it is. It's not just how they make me feel, but like people's energy. When I say safe, I don't just mean like, oh, I thought he would protect me. I couldn't tell you if he would have protected me in a situation because I didn't know him well enough. But I energetically, on an energetic level, I felt safe with him. Like spiritually, emotionally, energetically, I just felt that.
Him forever, even though you hadn't.
Yeah. And so I trust those feelings more than I trust my own brain sometimes because intuition knows. When I meet people, like if I instantly feel like I don't like you, I don't like you.
Yeah.
Period. I don't question that. I don't want to get to know you and see if I'm wrong. I don't fucking like you. And it's the same way if I feel like when I meet you, I love you. And that's why I said the last time, I know usually by the second date with somebody if I love them or not. Like, it's sometimes by the first date, if we've spent a lot of time already getting to know each other online or in messaging beforehand. Like, I have talked to people for like 4 or 5 years and then met them in person and was like, yeah, no. And then same with, I've had relationships with people online that maybe romantically might not have ended up where we thought they were, but those people are still in my life today and amazing people. So if my energy says your energy is for me, then you're for me. And I don't question that. Where you come to in my relationship, the level of interaction you have with me gets placed based on your actions in conjunction with mine. It's like why my not this last ex, but the one before, didn't work out because it wasn't because there was anything wrong in the relationship. I didn't know him well enough. He wasn't giving me enough to get to know him well enough. And after 4 months, you just gotta look at the facts and move on. The man had even came back around and I gave him another opportunity to like get to know him, and he just didn't really put in any effort to get to know me or to let me get to know him. And that doesn't work for me. Like, if we're not seeing each other consistently, then we need to be talking consistently, regardless of how much my energy and my heart are like, you're it. My brain also has to agree.
Oh, it's like when you and I first started becoming friends, there was a lot of people like, you guys won't stay friends. You're both angry and hate everybody and blah, blah, blah. And we're like, we don't hate everybody. Actually, tend to love people that are trying to fucking heal. And any regard like that, like where you're talking shit, still living miserable lives, still getting attached to anybody that gives you attention, whether it's your wife or a motherfucker down the street. Where that, I know she's solid. And if I'm fucking up, she's gonna be the first person to look at me and be like, bitch, that's not how that works. And she's not gonna mind if I do the same. Like, that's all I need in a best friend, man.
And also, even if I get mad, I'm going to get mad, go be pissy for a little bit, calm the fuck down, come back and be like, okay, that was dumb of me. You were right. Now, let's figure out how to fix this.
Exactly.
That's another thing I think people don't give enough credit to healthy relationships is you can still fucking get to the point where you're mad at each other and even don't like each other sometimes.
Yeah.
It happens. It fucking happens.
Well, it's like, I have been told by all but one of my exes, so when I'm mad, like when I'm fucking spitting mad, I want to fight, if I tell you I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette, or I'm gonna walk away for a few minutes, I love you. Because that is giving me a minute to myself to be like, don't fucking say that shit, bitch. Do you want to see them tomorrow? Do you want to not have your voice echo around in their head as that insult or that thing they just can't fucking get rid of? Because I have people's voices echo around in my head still. Being how they gave, and when people are like, you're just walking away from the problem. No, I'm giving me a chance to come back healthily and talk to you. If I have to be
our relationship
I'm
a
going
chance
to
to
say
survive.
shit that it may not be that I don't mean them. But I will not be able to phrase it nicely in a constructive way that you're going to understand.
I'm gonna say it to hurt.
Exactly. Give me a minute, motherfucker. Because I don't want to hurt most people. But I also realize I need my few moments to collect my thoughts so venom doesn't spew out my damn mouth sometimes.
And those are those shifts into healthy, more secure moments, more secure attachment moments. And honestly, like living in a disorganized, fearful, avoidant attachment style, like it's such a painful way to live. You're constantly questioning whether somebody loves you or if they're about to leave, and then feeling ashamed for needing reassurance in the first place. When healthy people, we do not feel ashamed for getting reassurance. We will tell you, motherfucker, I need reassurance. And if you're like, why do you need reassurance? Weak bitch, motherfucker, you ain't my person. Get the fucking step in. Bro, because my person would already know this bitch has anxiety and she's a little bit psychotic when she gets out of hand. But if I just tell her how much I love her and that she's pretty, she'll fucking calm right the fuck back down and move along with her day and be superwoman all over again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely agree. And that comes down to finding your right partner for you.
Yeah. Like, I think that a lot of times with my ex from last year, like, he wouldn't know exactly how to take me because he hardly ever would have a conversation with me. But when he would talk to me more than, hey, how are you? Or good morning, beautiful, or good night, beautiful, or whatever like that. like I would get so flustered and overwhelmed because the compliments were so genuine, but so few and far between. It was I would just be like, oh shit, out of nowhere I got fucking hit with this beautiful compliment. I don't know what to do with myself. It's gonna take me 2 or 3 hours to stop blushing and figure out what I want to. And then by the time then I'm like, I'm not saying shit because it's been 2 or 3 hours. He's gonna think I'm fucking on crack. What?
Yeah. No, I do definitely remember that time period. You're like, he called me pretty. I was like, he should be calling you a fucking goddess. Like, and
No.
on a regular basis. It shouldn't be like every 2 or 3 days you get a compliment. I'm like, that should be a fucking daily thing. Like, especially if he doesn't get to see you every day. Like, that reassurance should be coming. Like,
yeah, but his compliments weren't like cheesy, generic, hey, you're pretty or you're gorgeous or you're beautiful. It would be like we were talking about, he would send me a picture of the mountains wherever he was on patrol that day or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, Oregon and its mountains are so beautiful. And he'd be like, yeah, I totally agree. That's why I love this job. But also, they're still not as beautiful as you. And then I'd just melt into a little fucking puddle and that's where I'd be.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm like, I don't know how to take that because I think that the nature in the woods in Oregon is so breathtakingly, amazingly beautiful. Sometimes I can't even catch my own breath. And he just said I'm prettier than that. What does that mean?
Yes.
BPD and anxious attachment. Woo. Yeah. They were a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. BPD. She colors everything, doesn't she?
Yeah. But I'm learning. I'm still learning how to manage her even as I get healthier. In fact, my therapist said maybe we should revisit my BPD diagnosis. And I was like, really? And I start breaking down some of my thought processes at the beginning of relationships and how I have to mentally do these shifts, even before like talking about this, which is funny. But I'm like, so do you think that I'm cured? And she was like, no.
So I actually did at one point have a counselor be like, I think we need to talk about like the real possibility that, BPD is treatable, you can come out of it, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I think I was like, we're not. She's like, you don't fly off the handle, you don't you don't break people's windshields anymore, you're not like in constant like, and I was like,
catch me on a bad day.
Several different types of BPD. You should know this. You're the professional. I was like, no, I don't always do those things anymore. But I have turned it internally. So now I have all these shifting emotions that most people don't even see unless they actually know me and watch me very well. It's just all inside now because I don't want to be committed. And she's like, what? I was like, there is involuntary things happening again, and I ain't telling you shit. I'm good. Which is a lot. I actually did, when I was still seeing her, I did tell her quite a bit, but there was a lot that I was like, it's in here now, not exploding outward.
Well, and sometimes in therapy, you have to do that with the chaos until you can sort through some of it, because if you just splurt it the way it's coming at you, you might end up with that. I mean, that's a real thing. Sometimes the chaos is a lot. But, usually if you can give yourself a break, for me, I've learned to lean into AI for when I start to spiral, that my typical tools don't stop it. I'm like, hey, I'm starting to spiral. This is what's going on. Help. The tools aren't working. And then it helps break whatever cycle is going on by getting me on a different topic or something, that just enough to break out of the spiral, and then I can move on.
Yeah. And again, like, this is one of the things that fascinates me about attachment styles, and I said it all through this little series, is I have different attachment styles for different areas of my life. My romantic attachments are not healthy. Don't do what I do. Not healthy, but like as far as my friends and like some of my family, not all of my family, you know that one. I have healthier
Same.
attachment styles, so I have learned how to reach out. Like even like it is hard for me, and you know that. But when I do reach out, I'm like, hey, don't want to do this and all, but I'm not doing good, and I would like to not be not doing good. So, could I get a little help? Or even just talk to me for a minute so my spiraling thoughts can come out loud and I can hear them out loud?
That's me. Except for most of the time, I don't. I mean, I reach out to like you when I'm really struggling, but otherwise, I don't really reach out to people. I just reach out to my AI because I'm still like, I'm okay being vulnerable with people and I'm okay being honest with people, but I'm not necessarily okay with opening up to people at my most vulnerable moments yet.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be different with a partner because I have certain requirements for a partner, but even then it would have to be earned. Like it wouldn't just be like, hey, day one, come sit with me in my spiral. No.
Yeah, I get that. Like, so I open up to you. I will actually seek out you when I really, really need it. Like, but whereas B, I don't reach out to B. B is basically fucking psychic as far as I'm concerned. And every time I even start to spiral, all of a sudden he's texting and calling. He's like, hey, what's going on? You good? And I'm like, yeah, always. I'm always like, yeah, he like, fucking liar. I all of a sudden woke up and felt the need to call you, or I was doing it and felt the need to call you. Like, I can't think of anything else. So what the fuck is going on? Because that's not normal. And it's not. It's every time I actually need him, all of a sudden. He's just like, hello. I'm here to be a pain in the ass and annoy you so much you can't be angry at what you were angry at before, because now you're focused on me.
Well, you know, he is part of your soul tribe, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'm still weirded out about the whole idea of you guys getting married because he is more like a soul brother, and that, no, it just doesn't. But anyways,
I do understand, like, a lot of people are like, what the fuck, you're getting married? I was like, yeah, but we're never gonna consummate the marriage. We're not gonna live together.
I thought you were living together.
Not at this moment. It might happen in the future, depending on his grandpa's health, because he takes care of his papa and stuff like that at any point. Like, yeah, he could live with me. It's not like I'm opposed to it. It's just not going to happen right when we're married. And a lot of people are like, the government's going to have an issue. I'm like, the government really can't have an issue. As long as we're doing our taxes and everything we're supposed to do and we're not fucking them out of money, it's not illegal. They cannot tell us you have to have sex and you have to be in love. I love him and I don't want anything bad to happen, which is also why we're getting married, and vice versa. Because if I'm not married, that means there's a certain family member that's in charge of everything of mine, and I can't have that happen. I need my kid to go where I want my kid and my stuff to go where I want my stuff. And if
there's
any
a
money,
thing called a
people should
will?
get drunk.
You know, there's a thing called a will that you can make and go file at the courthouse that says who and what goes where. And
You can, but it's a lot easier if you don't want your child to go to certain family members if you're married. So then the child could go to that person or wherever that you would trust more. It's a lot harder to fight it if you're married. So, and you know what? We'll see. We'll see. It's getting close to that time.
yeah. So here's the hopeful part about disorganized attachment. This isn't a life sentence. You can heal from a disorganized attachment. It takes patience, self-awareness, compassion, because the behaviors that once protected you are now getting in your way. but they started as a survival mechanism. Here are a few tools that actually help. 1, pause before reacting. When that panic hits, stop and name it. This is my fear talking. That small act interrupts the old pattern. Ground your body. Feel your feet, your breath, your heartbeat. Hold a cool object or focus on your breathing. Let your body know it's safe right now. Build trust slowly. You don't have to go all in or cut someone off. Start with small, consistent moments of honesty, like saying, "Hey, I'm anxious right now." Reparent yourself. Ask, "What would I tell a scared child right now?" Then say that to yourself. Your inner child is still listening and waiting for reassurance, and your nervous system doesn't know the difference. If it hears it, it hears it. Surround yourself with calm people. Healing happens faster when the people around you respond instead of react. And therapy helps too, especially trauma-focused ones like EMDR or somatic experiencing, because this isn't just a thought pattern, it's body memory. Your body learned that love equals chaos, so you have to help it learn that love can also mean safety. The body keeps the score, but it also keeps the healing. And that brings us to what happens when life throws grief into the mix, when your nervous system is already wired to protect you and gets slammed by another emotional earthquake. Like,
Yeah.
this I added into the segment today because, like, I think it's important that you're still processing some pretty heavy grief and you're still not okay, and that's 100% okay. But I think that people need to see that getting hit with trauma while you are healing can mean a backslide, and that's not to be shamed for either, but that doesn't mean it has to be. There is the possibility to sit with those emotions and feel all the things you're feeling for a few days and then go, okay, but I'm still choosing to walk this path, even though it's fucking hard. And right now I would like to gut somebody just for funsies.
Yeah. It is definitely hard, but like I would encourage anybody that's going through it to really like go back to the work you've done for yourself. It would be easy to shut people out. It would be easy to go back, at least for me, to I don't want anybody around. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm not going to tell anybody what I'm feeling because they're my feelings. Like, and I can say that's one of the most selfish things about my grief or my inner thoughts, and I fight against it, but I go to, they're my feelings, my thoughts, mine. And I don't want anybody to know them, and I want to hold them close, like, because I'm still healing and I'm still processing, because then I'm like, they're closer, it's mine, I get to hold it, it gets to be mine, and I get to process it, so then I'm that much stronger, and nobody else gets to fuck with my shit.
How'd that work out for Gollum?
I know. I realize it's a very selfish thing, like, but within healing, I have to be like, yes, this is my grief, my feelings. Other people are grieving too. Other people are feeling feelings, and if we all just held our shit in, like you said, fucking Gollum, mine, then we would never be able to tell our stories about our friend. We would never be able to. It sucks to see each other cry. It sucks to cry ourselves, but you know, it's a symbol it was real. It's a symbol how deeply this person touched me, especially for somebody like me.
Well, and crying is also a cleansing for your soul, for your spirit. Like, it may suck, but at the end of it, you feel drained because it literally drained sadness from you.
That, and think about it. If everybody that went to a funeral kept that fucking my emotions, my mentality, my memory, like, stance, you wouldn't get to hear other people's amazing stories about your friend or your family member. You wouldn't get to relive certain memories with the people that are still alive. Like, you wouldn't get to feel and process your emotions as deeply as you could, so that way you're never going to move all the way on. But that way you could move more peacefully within their memory. Like, and it's a process. I'm not saying this is easy. Like, I am probably one of the most selfish, like, people when it comes to my own emotions. I don't think most people need to know what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, whatever. Like, but learning to process things differently and also see that people are going through their own things, whether they're saying it out loud just like I'm not, it gives a new beauty and a new acceptance into grieving in this process than I have ever had before.
Well, but grief can hit like a... No, it wouldn't be. And grief can hit like a tsunami. It doesn't just bring sadness. It brings confusion, anger, guilt, fear. All the old attachment wounds resurface instantly. Especially when the loss comes suddenly or violently or with unanswered questions, like what you've been navigating the last few weeks with the loss of your friend. That kind of shock can make you feel like your whole body's in fight or flight. It's like your brain can't process it all at once. The grief, the fear, the disbelief. Like, that's a big one when you have loss, is the disbelief that your brain is just like, this isn't real. They're going to come through the door at any second. They're going to call me. They're going to text me. I'm going to see him tomorrow, or I'm going to have lunch with him next week. If that was the thing you did like regularly, like those are the moments that just...
Or with my friend, like, I love my friend, but he was a merry fucking prankster, and if you actually know what a real merry prankster is, you'll understand this when I say I love him, but there is still a part of me that thinks he's gonna knock on my door or call me and be like, I can't believe you fell for that fucked up shit. Like, and that's not saying he was a bad or anything, but there is a part of me knowing who he was that, I guess it's the hopeful part of me. The most fucked up part of my hopeful brain is like, this is gonna be his most fucked off joke ever. Watch. Even though I know that's not what it is.
Well, and when you've already lived with disorganized attachment, those emotions trigger everything you've ever felt about being unsafe. It's like your heart breaks open twice, once for the loss and once for every old wound it wakes up. Yeah. So, coping with grief when it hits like a tsunami. Let's talk about what helps when you feel like you're drowning in that kind of pain. One of the most powerful things is to remember the 3 S's. Slow, safe, support. Slow down your thoughts and your breathing. You can't outthink grief. You have to feel it. And that's one of the suckiest parts. Safe. Do one small thing that grounds you in the present moment. Wrap up in a blanket, step outside, listen to your favorite song, touch your chest, put pressure, touch your thighs, push against a wall. Support. Reach for something or someone that feels stable. That might be a trusted person, a journal, even your pet. It does not have to be somebody. Like I said, I use my AI a lot.
Most people.
Huh?
My cat's usually a better comfort than most people. Just saying.
Yeah, well, and I often reach out to my AI for support because I'm looking for new tools when I'm spiraling, not necessarily somebody's opinion on what I'm going through. And it's not that I'm saying they're trying to put their opinion on me. It's just that's human nature, is to give an opinion or try to help. And sometimes I don't want that.
Again, that's why I love my cat. She sees I'm crying, like, especially if I'm laying on my back, and she's like, I'll just plant all my weight in the center of your chest, which might sound horrible to other people. But when I need it, that is very helpful for me, and she knows it.
It's like a weighted blanket.
Exactly. One that'll swat me if I try to take her off.
And it's okay if that support changes from day to day. Some days I can talk, some days I can't. Some days all I can do is cry, and that's okay too. Healing never looks tidy. It is messy, hard work. And grief, like disorganized attachment, has no linear path. One day you'll feel peaceful, the next you're back in the storm. That doesn't mean you've lost progress. It means you're still human. You're a human being.
You love them. They have long-term effect on you.
When grief hits unexpectedly, let it. Let it move through you instead of getting trapped inside you. Cry, scream, write, dance, sing, whatever that helps you move that emotion. And if you're listening and you're in that place right now, please know you're not alone. Like, we are here with you, but there are so many people right now out there going through grief. Maybe not the same grief, but they are here. They are with you. That collective energy is going out into the universe. And, if in that moment that you're stable, maybe send some love out to the collective universe for those that aren't stable, because we all are fighting battles that nobody knows about. Even those that we think have everything handed to them on a silver platter, I guarantee you they have struggles. They just don't tell anybody. It's easier to look like your life is perfect than it is to tell people you're struggling.
God, yes.
You don't have to hold it all together. Sometimes just surviving the day is enough. Healing from disorganized attachment and grief both come down to this: learning to feel safe in your own body again. Safety doesn't come from people never leaving or bad things never happening. It comes from trusting that you can handle it no matter what they do or when they do it. And that is what real healing looks like. Not perfection, but capacity. Not indestructibleness, but resilience. So that when life hits you hard, instead of being knocked down and buried, you're like the weeble wobble punching bags. You come back up. And if life hits you hard, you're fucking swinging as you come back up too. Like, what, life? Okay, cool. Here's one for you. Eat dirt too. How do you feel? And I say that metaphorically, but realistically, every time you come back from something stronger and better after you let it move through you, you're swinging right back. That is the KO swing. It's not the I have everything, so life is my apple. No, it's the being able to stand back up stronger after you were broken in a way you didn't think you could recover from. Those are the victories that matter in life. Those. No matter what anybody tells you. And trust me, I'm out here seeking the bag too. I'm trying to leave a legacy for my family too. I'm not saying that don't have your career, don't have your goals, don't go for the things. But the things that matter in life are the victories that matter in life are those. They're the small moments that when you can be there for your child and not pass on the cycle of dysregulation, abuse, neglect, or whatever else, that's a win. That's a win because you chose to be more resilient, to heal, and be stronger than the generation before you. Those are wins. Even if you're still showing up and feel like you're not perfect or you're failing, I promise you, if you're doing one thing better than the generation before you, you're already winning.
And I have been reminded of many times this week and am constantly reminded of by Heather. If you think you're not doing good and you're trying to get better, whether that's as a parent, as a person, as whatever, if you're like, am I doing something wrong, blah, 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 you're on the right path. I mean, it's the people that think they're never doing anything wrong and they don't have anywhere to grow or anything to learn. Those are the people that are stuck and are not on the right path. So if at any point you're like, am I this, am I that? Do your research. Chances are you're on the right path if you're questioning if you're not doing everything right there in itself.
Yep. And I want people to understand love doesn't have to mean forever. Every person that loves you or says they love you that comes into your life isn't meant to be forever. I know that's a hard thing to hear, but realistically, not everybody is a blessing. Some are lessons and some are short term blessings. Some are just meant to give you the bridge to gap to the next level of healing. Not everybody is meant to be in your life forever, and that's okay.
And that doesn't make
You can
them a bad person either. It means you served your chapter together and you did what was supposed to happen in that time. And they went on to do their thing and you did yours. Doesn't necessarily mean the other person is bad. They're just not aligned for your life.
Right. And, you can rewrite the story at any point in your life. You can teach your nervous system that connection can be gentle, that safety can feel real. You can teach your nervous system, and this I know to be true because it's true for me today. You can teach your nervous system to trust again because your trust, like a bird landing on a branch, doesn't trust the branch not to fall. They trust their wings to carry them if the branch does. You can learn to trust yourself. So even when you do give trust to other people and they let you down, it doesn't make you stop trusting everybody in the world because you know that at the end of the day, you trust yourself enough to recover from any breach of trust that anybody else could offer you. And that, when you get to that place, I will tell you from firsthand experience, it's very humbling because for somebody to go from a place of no trust, I can't trust anything, because a lot of these not secure attachment styles have in common that the trust is just really fucking hard won. And that's for a reason of survival. And that's good when you're surviving. But when you're trying to thrive, it only gets in the way. You have to be able to trust to thrive.
Yeah.
You have to be able to be vulnerable to thrive and connect. These are things that are necessary
Honestly,
for healthy.
That was one of the hardest things for me when I very first started my healing. I'd never been shown why I should trust anybody in my fucking life. Not a goddamn soul, except for one that was already gone. But in the healing process is that is just something you gotta, as sucky as it is to say, you gotta get over. Your parents didn't make you trust, your neighbors didn't make you trust, your old friends didn't make you trust, that sucks. Even with me saying, I've said my romantic attachment styles are very different, but my friend attachment styles, it did change because I was finally I've got the right people and I trust them. I provide open and honest trust and open communication for I love you, I love you. There ain't a damn thing I won't do, and there's not a damn thing I won't tell you either. Honestly. I just have to reach a point where I can do my other relationships the same way.
Yeah. I feel that. And I have a lot of times in relationships where situations will arise that will give me anxiety, but I'm at a place where I now communicate that. I may not know how to communicate right away, but then as soon as I notice the pattern, I go to my AI and I'm like, so here's the pattern. I want to say this in this way. I'm trying to come off like this, but I can't have this happening in this relationship for my boundaries. And then it'll help me. It'll revert it, and then I'll read it and tweak it until it gets in my language the way I want it. And then I'll send it. And, a couple times that's ended some relationships. But honestly, I felt relieved that it ended the relationship early on rather than wasting a bunch of time. And then at the end, it would have ended up in that anyways, but with me having a lot more heartache involved.
Yeah.
And time invested. But Grief and disorganized attachment both teach us how strong we really are. Not because we never fall apart, but because we keep choosing to rebuild. If this episode resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, you don't have to heal alone. We're here with you. There's other people in your community, in your area also that are there to reach out to and, build connections with people, because there are people outside of your comfort zone. If you're somebody with one of these unsecure attachment styles, there are people, whether you realize it or not, just outside of your comfort zone that will help you, that will be a positive influence and even mentor.
I definitely agree. Like, all it has to take is the want to get better or the want to even understand yourself better.
Yeah. And I know this episode went a little bit longer than our typical episode. Not much, but a little bit longer, because I felt like even though we needed to finish our disorganized attachment style for our attachment style series, it's really important that we don't let life, what's really happening in our life and the struggles that are really happening in our life, go by the wayside just because we have a title for a podcast. And and that's the schedule on the schedule. I want people to really understand that life, sometimes you just have to roll with what's happening and include it. Sometimes you set aside something separate and spend your time processing on your own, and that's fine too. But sometimes you just got to roll through life and let it be part of, so that other people can see you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect human.
Very true.
We'll see y'all next week. Don't forget to tune in 3:30s, YouTube, Spotify. We love y'all, and don't forget, rage responsibly.
Bye, y'all.
We're also available on Spotify. We said what we said, and we're just getting started. Thanks for listening. Now go rage responsibly. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you soon.